Welcome to the Musar Torah podcast for Parshas Mattos-Masei. Join us as we explore the weekly Parsha, uncovering valuable insights and striving to become the best versions of ourselves through Musar teachings. Near the opening of Parshas Masei, something unusual happens. Shevet Reuven and Shevet Gad approach Moshe with a request. They own enormous herds of cattle. They have surveyed the land on the eastern side of the Jordan River, and they have noticed something. The terrain is perfect for livestock. They ask to stay. As the pasuk says, V'yomeru im motzanu chen be'inecha yutan es ha'aretz hazos la'avdecha la'achuza el ta'avirenu es hayarden. If we have found favor in your eyes, let this land be given to your servants as a holding. Do not bring us across the Jordan. This is Perek Lamed Beis Pasuk Hey. On the surface, this is a sensible, practical request. The land is right there. It suits their needs. It is accessible. Why cross the Jordan when they already have exactly what they need on this side? Moshe pushes back hard, and eventually after a negotiation, Shevet Reuven and Shevet Gad agree to lead Klal Yisrael in battle across the Jordan before returning to settle on the eastern bank. The arrangement is approved. On the surface, it looks like a reasonable deal, well made. Two tribes spotted an opportunity, acted on it, and secured their future. The Midrash, however, sees it very differently. In Bereishit Rabbah, it opens its discussion of a pasuk in Parshas Vayetze with a striking juxtaposition. It places a pasuk from our parsha, the request of Shevet Reuven for land, right alongside a story about Reuven himself 4 generations earlier. The connection? A field. The pasuk in Bereishis reads, Vayelech Reuven b'meik tzir chitim, vayimtza dudaim, b'sada vayaveh osam el Leah imo. Reuven went out during the wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field and brought them to Leah his mother. This is in Bereishis Perek Lamed Pasuk Yudaled. Reuven, as a young child, found flowers growing in a field. The Midrash notes that he brought them to his mother rather than keeping them for himself, and this was an act of profound kibud aim, honor toward his mother. The Midrash also emphasizes that what he took was hefker, ownerless, available to all. By every measure, this seems innocent. A child, a field, a gift for his mother. The Midrash, however, draws a direct line from this moment to the request of his descendants centuries later. Reuven saw something in a field and took it. His great-great-grandchildren saw land and took it, or at least they tried to. The pattern is the same. Something visible, something accessible, something that seems free for the taking. The Midrash quotes a pasuk, Chanoch lanar al pi darko gam ki yizkin lo yasur mimena. Train a child in the way that is right for them. Even when they will grow old, they will not depart from it. The habits we form and the habits formed by those who came before us do not simply disappear. They echo. Rabbi Yaakov Kier teaches a teaching from Rav Baruch Mordechai Ezrachi Zeicher Tzadik Levracha that draws out the Musar lesson embedded in this Midrash. The lesson is not that Reuven did something wrong, as the Midrash itself says. What he took was hefker. He was not stealing. The lesson is something more subtle and more challenging. We human beings, as mere mortals, are vulnerable to a particular kind of mistake. We think we can identify a good acquisition. We see something that looks available, that suits our needs, that seems like exactly the right opportunity, and we reach for it. We trust our own judgment. We trust our own eyes. The Midrash here is showing us that what looks like a good deal is not always what it appears to be. Reuven's descendants looked at the land east of the Jordan and saw an obvious opportunity. It was right there. It was theirs for the asking. It fit their circumstances perfectly. What they failed to see was what they were giving up. Not just a portion of Eretz Yisrael, but the spiritual inheritance that came with it. The connection to the land that Hashem had promised. The long view that no short-term calculation could capture. Rav Ezrachi's teaching is this. The dividends of an easy acquisition can, over time, become a total loss. When we take something simply because it is available and accessible, we are trusting our own vision rather than divine guidance. We are saying, I see this, therefore I should have it. The problem is that we do not see everything. This is one of the most honest and humbling Musar lessons we could sit with. We make decisions every day, personal decisions, financial decisions, decisions about relationships, about how to spend our time, about which opportunities to pursue. In many of these moments, we feel confident. We have assessed the situation. We can see the logic. The deal looks good. The Torah is gently warning us that confidence in our own assessment is not the same as wisdom. The first offer is not necessarily the right offer. The easy path is not necessarily the right path. Something that is readily available, that seems perfectly suited to our immediate needs, may carry costs we cannot calculate from where we currently stand. This does not mean we should be paralyzed, that we should never make a decision or pursue an opportunity. It means our decisions should be accompanied by a certain humility, a recognition that our vision is partial, that what we see in the field is not the whole story. The Midrash's phrase from Mishlei is telling. The pattern is set by a child in a field, a moment of reaching for something accessible and free, and that can persist and express itself generations later in a much higher stakes context. Character patterns formed without full awareness can echo in ways we never anticipated. This week, let's all pause before the next decision we face, particularly one where the choice feels obvious, where the opportunity is right in front of us and seems easily available. Let's ask ourselves, am I moving toward this because it is genuinely right or because it is simply there? Am I relying on my own calculation, or am I leaving room for the possibility that I don't have the full picture? That pause, that moment of genuine humility before a decision, is itself a form of avodas Hashem. It is an acknowledgement that true wisdom is divine, and that our clearest moments of good judgment are really moments of siyata d'shmaya, divine assistance, that we are wise enough to receive. Shevet Reuven's choice to remain on the east side of the Jordan looked in the moment like an excellent deal. The land was there. It suited them. The logic was sound. The Midrash traces that logic all the way back to a child in a field carrying mandrakes to his mother, and sees in both moments the same human vulnerability. We see what is in front of us. We reach for it. We trust our eyes. The Torah is asking us to develop a different kind of vision, one that is slower, more humble, and more open to the possibility that the obvious acquisition is not always the wise one. May we all merit to make our decisions with that kind of clarity, and may we have the wisdom to know when to hold back from what seems most accessible in favor of what is truly ours to receive. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Musar Torah. Have a good Shabbos.